So there has been an absolute explosion here in the political sphere in the UK in the past week, and there's a lot to talk about throughout this video. Now, I wanted to make this a lot sooner, but more and more information kept coming out, and I've really wanted to hold off to get as much as I can within one video. So this video is going to be a free video in one, essentially. The first part of it, we're going to talk about the fact that Nigel Farage's Reform UK Party's mast is starting to slip, and people are realising that they're not really up to the job of dealing with some of the most controversial problems that face the UK. Like the second part of this video, which is mass legal and illegal immigration into the UK, and of course Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs on top of that as well, and all of the heinous stuff that they've dealt with, and the fact that so many people within the mainstream media and across the political sphere have covered this up for almost 40 years at this point. And the third part of this, which we're going to talk about, is pretty much the aftermath, and also the fact that Andrew Tate has started a political party called BRUV, B-R-U-V, BRUV, and he will be running for UK Prime Minister in 2029, but we'll start off with this. I can only go through every single one of these tabs at face value, because if I sat here and analysed every single thing that I've got to show you, this video would be 5 hours long. So what I'll do is, once this video goes live, instantly I will post on X advertising this video itself, and below that I will link every single tab or news article in order that I'm going to show you, if you really want to do your own research and dive a lot deeper into everything that I'm about to show you. Links to my X, links to my Rumble, links to my Discord server in the pinned top comment. I've already made 2 videos that are too spicy for YouTube, will be uploaded to Rumble soon, but let's begin with this. So Elon Musk, the Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes. This is in response to Nigel Farage and the Reform UK's party getting softer and softer with their political views, the fact that they're taking on more people for diversity's sake, and also the fact that he's going against people like Tommy Robertson and saying that he's not one of us, he shouldn't be talking, etc, etc. And the fact that their political views on how to deal with mass immigration is getting softer and softer, hence why Elon Musk is now turned on him. Now, we have this tweet from Connor Tomlinson, which is responding to the tweet, or should I say post, of Elon Musk's X account right here, who is obviously the owner of X itself. Now, I've already said the first half of what Connor's saying right here, which is, even months ago I've been saying here on my YouTube channel that Nigel Farage is the best out of all the worst option and the Reform UK party. However, I don't believe he's got the psychopathic energy, therefore the balls, the spine, the guts, whatever way you want to word it, to actually fix the problems in the UK, but he'll at least put a small dent into in the problems, to say the very least. I don't think he'll even put the dent in anymore as well. And again, if at any point you want to pause and read this, or go over to that tweet that I put out and read these manually yourself, feel free to. I know I don't have the voice of Elon Musk. So I want to just cover this bit here, which is, the above opinion by Elon Musk has proven the fears are true. Reform must stop fearing the inevitable false accusations of racism from hostile press to become the party Britain needs. It's not about Tommy Robertson the man, it's about clearing up the mess that the police, civil service and both ruling parties have left Britain in, which I absolutely 100% agree with. The Nigel Farage and the Reform UK party are really still worried about their image, about being made to look, you know, racist or sexist or homophobic or Islamophobic, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And they still care about how the public perceives them, rather than just doing what needs to be done, no matter how controversial that thing might be as well. Hence why a lot of people, even like myself, are starting to go, oh, I don't know about Nigel Farage, I don't know if I like him anymore. But again, you can't agree with everyone 100% of the time, no matter how much you like or dislike him, or how much you want to support him or not. Just bear that in mind as well. And we've also got this as well. Now, I've used this before in the past from Into the Memory Hole, in one of my most successful videos of all time, a list of all of the worst crimes the UK police have committed as well. And we're going to start seeing about the legal side of importing, you know, tons of Bamalians into the UK as well. Again, I'll go over this at a finger painting level. Baby accidentally decapitated inside mother's womb during delivery. Infant's head reattached to body so mother could hold him before saying goodbye. Oh, Jesus Christ, I hate my own videos. Dr. Laxman, okay, what a name, that sounds very fish and chippy to me. A consultant gynecologist is said to have ignored the woman's request to stop. Oh wow, third worlders who don't know the definition of when to stop, or when to stop when people beg them to stop. Oh no, we'll hear more about that very soon here on this video. Again, skilled immigrants for each title. Foreign doctors are revealed to be behind 60% of all sex assaults on patients, but NHS wants fewer of them taken to disciplinary hearings as well. Again, not a surprise. Again, my gran, who has 2 types of rare blood cancer, several years ago got absolutely nuked into oblivion with chemotherapy, but she developed instant neuropathy, which is the uncontrollable spasm of muscles 24/7 within, let's say, your fingers, your toes, or other things as well. And again, it was not white British people or white Scottish people who gave her that medication. Again, what a surprise. I'm extremely angry about that to this day. 3/4 of doctors who are struck off in Britain are trained abroad. Again, this is coming from India. Also, there's also a thing that's over 700 Rwandans have falsified their own medical degrees as well, which has led to a plethora of injuries and illnesses and deaths that could have been prevented or even applied to the patient directly because of what they did. It's just absolutely beyond insane. Again, skilled immigrants. India's biggest educational scam, 36,000 fake degrees, found at this renowned university as well. And we've also got this: fake degrees, skilled dropouts, unqualified doctors. India has a problem of quacks, essentially. Again, India, one of the most disgusting, horrible, smelly places on the planet, who still practice voodoo, basket weaving, lesbian, rain dance ways of practicing medicine from the Dark Ages, essentially, and have very little medical practice over there as a whole. Yeah, it's not going to match up to our standards here in the NHS in the UK or America or any other first world developed country. Now, is it? And what they perceive to be hygienic or practical or moral or even legal is going to be completely beyond different from what we perceive it here in the UK as well. Again, if I can find it, I'll pop up on screen right now, but a doctor here in the NHS as well, which wasn't a part of this thread, which I think should have been mentioned, couldn't find a scalpel during operation, so he whipped out his pocket knife that he uses to dice up his lunch to open someone up to perform surgery. And as you can imagine, oh no, what a surprise, my pattern recognition is starting to kick in as well. Now, getting over to the Pakistani Muslim grinds, which is what people are truly outraged right now here up and down the UK, because this has been going on and been covered up for almost 40 years at this point. What happened to the police caught a grooming gang abuser in the act next to their station? Nothing. He told them what he was doing and they politely drove away, despite attacking victims as young as 11 and even much younger from other reports that I've heard. He was released last month. He served 9 years of his 19-year jail sentence. Classic stereotypical UK meme: get jailed for 20 years, you're out yesterday. It's just how it works here in the UK. A jail sentence does not mean a jail sentence, especially if you're not from the UK as well, and there's been far worse things happening to underages as well, which I'm going to get into next as well. Again, if you want to pause and read this, feel free to. I'll move over to the next one in 3, 2, 1. Again, if you want to pause and read, feel free to as well. Again, this has been just going on for so long up and down the UK. Also, a little bit more in depth with this story as well. The Muslim also responded to the police officers who drove past them, going, well, I'm receiving oral sex from her, what do you want from me? And they just went okay and drove off. And again, this is one of a billion trillion stories I could cover. Now, I'm going to blur my screen right now so I can transfer over to this. A lot of you might have heard of this story. It's the most darkest thing I've ever covered on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to reveal this for a split second. You better be fast to pause this to read this, because I don't want YouTube to detect this in any way, shape or form. And I'm just going to move on after I've showed you this. Again, links in the tweet that I'll post I was on about over on my X account. Let's unblur this. 3, 2, 1. Let's blur it again. There we go. It was that quick. I don't know what to say. I just don't. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this before, because this was over 20 years ago this happened, but oh, let's just move on. Let's just move on. Right, we've got another thread here. A thread of those who have contributed to the cover-up and denial of the Muslim gangs up and down the UK, who have been preying upon underage girls as well. Again, we've got Owen Jones. For any Americans watching, Owen Jones is the British equivalent of Harry Sisson. Sorry, I have verbal dyslexia. Sorry, Harry Sisson. Sorry. But yeah, he's the British version of him. And again, this is a video of him going, well, actually, this is just another excuse for the far right to be racist, just saying it's all Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs, actually, which is 100% the truth, to say the very least as well.
White girls being targeted by British Pakistani grooming gangs. Now, that is the sort of thing you would have expected to read in BNP leaflets, and which not that long ago would actually have been condemned by Tory and Labour politicians alike. But we are in 2023 in the worst possible timeline. It's not true. It's really important to make this very, very clear. It isn't true.
We've got Nazi Sarah as well, saying the same things as well. Shut your mouth. Corbyn allies shares message telling Rotherham sex abuse victims to be quiet for the good of diversity. I think we're living in a gaming simulator that's just got the worst coding possible. Made by Blizzard, I think, as well. Oh god, I hate the world that we live in so much. Again, we've got this one as well. Social workers and consent was, social workers said consent was given by those women. When consent is given, there is no, and there cannot be any grooming, and as a result would be a non-case. The point has been ignored by those who want to create propaganda campaign against Pakistanis, etc., etc. And again, all of the 250,000, you heard that right, 250,000, underage girls up and down the UK, and people have pointed out the number might be a lot larger, which I 100% agree with, who have been direct victims of Pakistani Muslim grape gangs. You know what I'm on about as well. These victims of these gangs gave consent at the ages of 11 or 13 or 14 or 9. Again, everything to do with the left contradicts itself so much to itself, becomes a paradox, hence why I call these quotation marks people, paradox people as well. Again, that's like saying, oh, vegan cannibals are a thing. Just so beyond stupid, honestly. Yes, a 9-year-old victim gave consent. Oh my god, I hate the UK. I hate the UK. One of the prosecutors that decided these weren't racially or religiously aggravated crimes, which would have meant longer sentences despite victims and their families claiming otherwise. And again, we've got the two things here. If you want to pause and read, feel free to. Again, or the link to my Twitter thread that I keep saying about. Absolute beyond disgusting behaviour. And again, I could go on and on. This thread goes on for so long, and so on and so forth as well. And it's just absolutely beyond ridiculous at this point. The amount of people who are extremely political, who are famous somehow, or actual political people who hold an actual political job, just covering us up, like two-tier comedy Keir Starmer and Stazzy Starmer, for example, as well. Now, speaking of the man himself, again, he was finally forced to address the absolute grooming gangs only a couple of days ago up and down the UK as well. And again, like with the Southport riots, like with the Southport riots, like with every single thing in terms of the cost of living crisis, about grooming gangs, about mass immigration, as well the Southport terrorist attack, etc., etc. When he was finally forced to address this after only a couple of days because Elon Musk tweeted at him and twisted his arm to make a live response, what does he do? Blames the far right for making us racially motivated. Oh god, who voted for this idiot? Again, as I said in one of the intros that I made, and I've made many videos on two-tier comedy Keir Starmer, is the UK was drowning in a bowl of super problems, and we decided to elect a fork as our lifeguard. Keir Starmer, the fork in a bowl of soup, and I'm being very polite even saying that as well. So I'll play the clip and I'll get right back to you.
When politicians, and I mean politicians, who sat in government for many years, are casual about honesty, decency, truth, and the rule of law, calling for inquiries because they want to jump on a bandwagon of the far right, then that affects politics, because a robust debate can only be based on the true facts.
Yeah, have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of little underage girls been traumatized physically and mentally by Pakistani Muslim gangs? Yeah, it's the far right, they're just the racist. It's just... Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm a hypocrite. I know I go freeze my speech reading this. Ban leftism, I'm so beyond sick of it. Ban leftism, this is absolute mental. Leftism is a mental health issue. Change my mind, honestly. Now, speaking of covering up and defending, and again, so on and so forth, we've got this. This is actually from my bookmark section. I've got two things I want to show you here, which is somebody exercising free speech in another country, the UK left, wah! Time Phillips addressed her own hypocrisy, Jess Phillips, who also very recently, she's a self-proclaimed one of these feminazis, as I like to call them as well. Protect women, women need more rights, women are victim all men, so it's all men, but the second it becomes something of diverse in terms of what they like to defend, which is open borders and people entering their country legally, that's when they shut up and they don't care about women being victims of these grooming gangs, etc. Next time any government minister tells you that violence against women and girls is a priority for them, don't believe them. It isn't. They literally don't give a toss. And again, we've got that clip from a couple of days ago. If I can find it, again, I do apologise. Very long video. I've got not that much time to make it. But again, she was on going, oh, you know, nobody's been a victim of this. There's no proof. It's just racists wanting to blame this on brown people and Muslims in Pakistan. Again.
Has it turned your world upside down?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a lot actually. It's not great. And the thing that annoys me the most about it is that it takes up so much bandwidth of my time from a man who knows absolutely nothing about the subject he's talking about, when the only thing I ever want to be doing is being able to use all of my brain power to focus on the hundreds of girls I have supported over the years who have been victims of grooming gangs and what needs to happen to make their lives better and to stop what is still happening today.
And you think he knows nothing about that?
Oh, I mean, I don't know what Elon Musk knows about it, but I don't know if it's happening on Mars.
The eyes to the right were 111, the nose to the left 364, so the nose have it, the nose have it. Unlock.
Over 250,000 underage girls and women as well, who you should be defending to death's door. You're just going, nah, they're not real, fuck their human rights, they don't deserve it. They're just, oh God. Everything to do with leftism in any way, shape or form contradicts itself so hard that itself becomes a paradox. Hence, apologies burped, hence why I call these people paradox people, because again it contradicts itself so hard to the point where it becomes a paradox. Speaking of feminazism as well, we've got this little thing I would like to point out. Hey, feminists, there is a massive yip culture in the UK. Grooming gangs are abusing thousands of women. Where are you? Being silent because it affects a minority that they're defending. Again, am I the only one that remembered? Again, I know I'm jumping the monster-sized pond here, but it still kind of backs up my theory about this whole thing. Anyone remember last summer in New York City where random white women were getting punched in the face and all of them were getting hospitalised with broken orbital bones, broken noses, severe hematomas, which is just a posh doctor's way of seeing bruises and swelling and inflammation and whiplash and God knows what else, and have to be hospitalised. And all of these women, who seem to be very young women, even younger than me, and I'm only in my late 20s, were all going on TikTok explaining what happened with their black-top face looking like the season finale of The Punisher. And once those TikToks went absolutely beyond viral like crazy, and it was worldwide news at this point about the fact that this trend that came back of punching random women in the face in New York. Yes, it came back, meaning that it's happened before and it'll probably happen again. The second people started asking in the comment section, other TikTokers, news outlets, YouTubers, people on X, and so on and so forth started asking, what did these men look like? Describe them to us so we can help you find these and get them jail. They deleted their TikToks and even their videos and went silent because it was all black men or illegal immigrants doing this. Because they want to protect these people, because they agree with open borders and they are a victim of racism, they couldn't speak against them because they would contradict themselves. Oh God, again, I hate this place with a burning passion. Again, I'm a man, apparently I'm a misogynist, apparently I hate women. Here's me defending women and doing their job for them. I'm way more of a feminist than every woman on this planet. Again, joke country, joke planet at this point, or at least within the Western world. And again, with mass immigration as well, especially the illegal side of it as well, we've had these types of outcomes overall as well, which is absolute beyond full-on riots started by illegal immigrants or the people of that country finally having enough and willing to physically fight back again. Again, if we've got the four corners right here, or the four horsemen of the apocalypse essentially. We have Ireland in the top left, and this all started over a year ago because they had their own little Southport incident where someone who should have been deported over 20 years ago, again, you heard that right, someone who should have been deported over 20 years ago and no police or any authority went to arrest this guy to deport him over the space of 2 decades, finally started screaming the famous religion of violently peaceful people's wording and started stabbing a bunch of very, very little kids in the street. And that's what sparked the whole Ireland riot over a year ago. Again, but I'm with you, Ireland, as well. And again, we've got this in America as well due to the absolute terror of Antifa and extremist far left and across people starting to rebel again against mass immigration. Again, Spain's had so many female decapitations and sexual crimes committed towards them. It is the worst it's ever been in Spanish history. And again, it's starting to kick off over there in the past and probably will do in the future. And of course, France has been France, of course, you know, revolutions and all that. But jokes aside, am I the only one remembers with France when they had their full-on illegal immigrant just riot of burning down France over a year ago, that it was quietly reported that they stole thousands of guns from all of the armed police and higher authorities who showed up to deal with the situation. They got overrun, forced to ditch their vehicles with all the guns and guns of the officers. The illegal immigrant, and again, I've shown footage of this in my previous YouTube videos, I swear I have as well, and it's out there if you look for it hard enough, of, I shit you not, illegal African immigrants up in French roof with bolt-action 308 rifles aiming at people and then shooting shotguns and other rifles to shoot out CCTV footage. The French authorities never got those guns back, and when these illegal immigrants are crossing through, you know, these tens upon tens of countries, is France the final destination of where they decide to illegally live? No, it's the neighbour of France that at one point only has a 20-mile distance between the country, and you know what country I'm talking about. And the funny thing is as well, the fact that it's news outlets, sorry, I'm losing my voice here, news outlets like the BBC, Sky News and The Guardian as well are also putting out saying that apparently it costs anywhere between 8 to 10 or even $12,000 or euros or pounds, I don't know which one it is, not too much of a difference, still a stupid amount of money at the end of the day, to cross into our country. Where are these third worlders getting the money from? Are they trading guns to get over here because they're very, very, very high valued because UK is the most anti-gun country on the planet, and when criminals can get their hands on it, they can really dominate the streets? Again, I just want to know where the guns have went, especially with the fact that France has never the final resting stop. I just want to know where the guns have went as well. And of course, carving it up and blaming the far right, we also have this from Carl Benjamin, or Sargon, who is another host of the Lotus Eater podcast. Like this tweet from Connor Tomlinson in response to the Elon Musk one. Again, he's the host as well, or one of the hosts of the Lotus Eater podcast as well. The Home Office is a woke institutional staffed by the DEI hires, by the way. They hate you and you don't hate them enough. 100% agree with that as well, which is, by the way, The Guardian is the most extremist, far left news outlet on the planet. You will not change my mind in the comment sections. They are factually. Most child sexual abuse crimes made up of white men Home Office reports, which is just beyond blatant lies and racist itself within there as well. Now, the thing that you'll see about all these woke lefties on X or even TikTok going, oh, well, how come you're talking about the arguably millions of third world grooming gang members up and down the UK, but you won't talk about the fact that it was 3 white British people who groomed over 30 children in Cornwall, or that incident that happened in Glasgow a couple of years ago? My opinion about anyone who does the most heinous stuff is remove their human rights. Human rights removed on the streets, 100%, I think that's the way to go. Bring back, you know, as I've mentioned, even within my own thumbnails and made videos on like the London swordsman attack as well, bring back this British Second Amendment, deal with the problem right in the spot, or basically do what they do in Among Us when someone's accused of being the imposter, vacuum them out. I'm just saying, anyone who does that, do that to them. However, the point they're making about the Cornwall grooming gang being actual white British people, or the Glasgow white grooming gang being white Scottish people, is they are an absolute drop in the ocean. They're the drop. The third world grooming gangs are the entire ocean. Again, anyone should be dealt with instantly, remove their human rights, but again, they're missing the point. We're arguing about 99.9999999% of grooming gang members and all they've done. You're trying to counter that with 0.0000001% of all grooming gangs. I'm just saying, I'm not saying one's more evil than the other, I'm just saying your point really doesn't make much truth. It doesn't really defeat our argument. Our argument outweighs you by about 99.99999%. And we'll get to the last part. Jesus Christ, I am losing my voice, which is from Andrew Tate, which is the Bruv Party as well. So Andrew Tate has announced that he's running for UK Prime Minister in 2029, and this is his manifesto. Yes, bruv. The Britain is restoring I can't speak. Underlying Value Party. Yeah, sorry, I'm pronouncing it right. I am losing my will till. Sorry. Underlying Values Party. Restore the one straight Britain. As leader, I am held fully accountable. By the way, I'm getting so angry making this video. My hands are starting to buzz. You ever had that when you've woken up and you've slept in your arm and it goes all funny, like TV static? I'm getting that in my hands because I'm getting that wound up talking about this heinous stuff. As the leader, I will be fully accountable, held accountable. If the plan has not been actioned within 45 days of power, I will step down as the leader. No delays, charter below, his manifesto below, and again, I'll scroll through this. Again, the thread of this will be in that tweet as well if you want to go check it out, or if you want to pause and read this. This is his manifesto on how Andrew Tate will fix the UK. Now, bearing in mind that he is still legally a British citizen, so he is, I think, allowed still to run for UK Prime Minister unless the British government decided to give him the Donald Trump treatment with an AR-15 or an SKS on a golf course, or they're trying to arrest him or imprison him like they did with Trump and all the other things that I've just mentioned, or find some BS loophole to keep him out of the UK, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But I think the people of the UK are so desperate they would actually vote for Andrew Tate, to be quite honest. I think we've got nothing to lose, if I'm being brutally honest. I know Andrew Tate's like Marmite, you absolutely love him or you absolutely beyond despise him. Again, as I said earlier on in this video, you cannot agree with someone 100% of the time, but just because you disagree with them 1% doesn't mean that you have to hate them 100%, just something you disagree with them on. Andrew Tate has said that anyone who's committed basically taking someone else's human rights away, their human rights are revoked without a court hearing. Love that. Allowing people to defend themselves, bringing back to Britain, making everything British. No one else gets a say. Just because you're here in the UK and you're not British doesn't mean you get to wave your flag. Only 5 flags will be waved in the UK, such as the United flag, the United Kingdom's flag, Welsh, English, Scottish, and the Northern Irish flag as well. Make this place absolutely beyond British as high hell as well, and basically fire off as much people in the government as possible, so on and so forth, which again I 100% agree on as well. Wow, it's been a very long time since I've made a video this long. Again, apologies I could not go into any greater detail going forward with all of these news, or I'm not clicking on the actual news article, just the threads, but as you can tell, if I was to go through every single one of these things, break it down, give my views and opinions, this video would have been hours upon hours long and you would have tuned out. Don't get me wrong, the ad revenue for the few that stuck around, sheesh, but again, even I don't care about ad revenue that much, especially with there's a pretty high chance that I'm going to get age restricted on this as well. But yeah, I think Nigel Farage and the Reform UK party are in a lot of trouble and their mask has slipped. I think people as a whole, like myself, are wanting a bit of a contradicting statement, but I think people are really wanting a psychopathic party with psychopathic energy to absolutely tackle this with just extreme ways and views. Get out of the UK, arrest everyone who covered up all of the most heinous stuff, arrest everyone who allowed this, and you remove someone else's human rights, your human rights are removed on the spot, no court date. We've caught you in CCTV when police badge cam, you're not clogging up the justice system, off to jail for life or in a prison camp or just executed on the spot. Again, that would pure the fear of God. Arm the shores of the UK, shoot everyone down on sight with 30 cal Colax mounted guns on boats, etc, etc. That seems to be Andrew Tate's policies, at least a little bit of it. There's far more to cover, but I think that's what people are looking for. People are so beyond angry, sick to death, mentally fatigued of the cost of living crisis, the absolute crime, the fact that taxis are just beyond bumming everyone into death in terms of their personal lives, their incomes, can't set up a business, too many taxis. Anyone who's worth over 100k or more in net worth, or even has that money lying about, are all just boogalooing off to far better countries with better weather, better food. They get more for their money with spending less, better women, so on and so forth, better standard of life, and it's just but the UK is gubbed. The UK is 100% gubbed, and I don't blame people for boogalooing at this point. I really, really don't. something beyond drastic needs to happen, and dare I say it, I think if Andrew Tate is not lying, we'll have to wait and see if by some miracle he does win in 2029 and he does get in. We'll have to wait and see if him and his brother, I would imagine his brother will be given a political position of some degree by Prime Minister Andrew Tate, and we'll have to wait and see if they actually uphold their promise. Bearing in mind that politicians lie, well, all of them do. But anyway, I'll wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for tuning in, it's greatly appreciated. If you could like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, again, I would love every single one of you. Help small content creators like me. Again, sorry I've been absent. All my videos keep getting age restricted, and when a video gets age restricted, not only do you lose all your ad revenue, but 99% of all potential new viewers it just doesn't get pushed out, so there's no point of uploading it. I'll try and get them uploaded. I've made a video talking about how the New Orleans attack, and also on top of that as well, that the Donald Trump cyber truck attack as well, the Trump Tower, was also connected to the New Orleans, etc, etc. Again, if I can edit the footage where YouTube can't detect it, I will upload it here, but if not, my Rumble account. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with anything that I've said, or you think I've missed anything of vital importance. Also, if you leave a comment as well of any news that you would like me to cover, again, you can leave it in my Discord server, just tag me in it or in the comments down below. I'll respond to you as soon as possible as well. And again, links to my Rumble, my Twitter, my TikTok, my X account, my Discord server, again, in the pinned top comment. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in for this nearly 30-minute video. Again, it's greatly appreciated for all of you who have made it to the end, and anyone who's even watched partial of it. Again, thank you so much for the support. Hopefully I'll be back in the next couple of days with a new video, even tomorrow if I can find something good to cover. But yeah, I love yous all, and as always, keep on rolling. Have a great day and a better year to follow. See yous!